Now more than ever, innovative technologies are fueling change and sparking new ways of thinking. Collaboration between corporations and startups is key to staying at the forefront of these trends. However, finding the right startups can be expensive, time-consuming, and ineffective. But Plug and Play is here to help. As a corporate partner, you will gain access to a whole ecosystem of innovation. Discover startups that meet your tech interests. Stay updated on the latest trends and network with industry peers. We will help you during every stage of your innovation journey, no matter where you are and where you want to go. Get in touch today.
So welcome everybody to this year's 2021 Expo Day here in June out of Vienna. A day full of innovation, inspiration and motivation. And I'm so sorry to tell that, but we really mean it. We really mean it. We want to bring you forward. We want to start the second half of the year right by exchanging what we learned in the first half of the year, by exchanging what we planned the next couple of months, and obviously doing that all together on a joint innovation platform. So be aware, everyone that you see tonight here and today on the stage is tested. So don't be afraid that we come too close to each other. So the next 2 hours will be obviously about the future of urban development with a diverse set of corporate partners, global startups from around the globe, and insights into the investment strategies of our VC partners, obviously. So the currently ongoing kind of transition phase, as we like to call it, affects probably each and every industry and might have changed perception of how we perceive urban development to continue, urban living, urban mobility, urban work. It might have changed. So for example, times where the office spaces have been an essential part of urban development, gathering the brightest minds in the most coolest modern cities in the world, might have changed. And even the well-known term and aim for circular economy might have changed as well. So that's the questions which are arising for us, for our partners, for our startups, for investors. Did the role of sustainability change because of COVID? How does a new way of living affect urban planning and development? And obviously, which major differences and new standards can be observed when we're talking about urban development and smart, connected city of the future? So we will talk about this all today together. We will cover all these topics together with the largest industry players on the market in the smart city space and share what they think, plan, and envision for the upcoming months. And together with some of the most demanded startups in the world, obviously you are here with Plug and Play, we are very proud to host a high-level panel discussion today on the topic of sustainable urban development, smart innovation as the game changer. So what is the secret sauce? How should we approach the upcoming year? Let's share, let's exchange, and we are super, super excited to have you today with us. I am excited. I think Ben is as excited as I am.
I am excited.
And he has a couple of words to share with you, and then we're going to dive right into it.
Thank you, Katinka. A warm welcome also from my side. Thank you very much for dialing in. I am incredibly happy about the amount of partners, the amount of people that we're finally able again to gather here in person in Vienna, still without live audience, still without our partners from overseas, from the UK, from Turkey and other places with travel restrictions. But I think we're getting there. And what I can promise you is that we will do our very best to make this feel like a live event, like you guys are with us here in Vienna and not like a virtual event, not like another Zoom meeting. So I think it's going to be great anyway. Over the last, say, 20 months or so, we've done quite a few events actually, like some of them in person, some of them hybrid, some of them fully virtual, and every single time I have been amazed by how active our partners were, about the cool pilot projects they implemented, also about how well prepared the team was, and every single time it was just getting better and better. And so I am really not afraid to promise you our best Expo Day ever today. Das Fahrrad is, of course. And we are starting actually with one of the segments that I was looking for the most probably, and that I'm really excited about, and that is introducing you to one of our new partners. I am very excited to introduce you to Lead Ventures, our brand new partner from Budapest, Hungary. I'm very excited to welcome Abel here, the CEO. Welcome to the platform. Excited to kick off this partnership.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here today and actually be here in person. Actually, this is the first time that I meet Ben as well and the team. So it's a real pleasure for us. And it's a pleasure to be the first Hungarian team to join the Plug and Play family. If you think about Hungary, you might know a few names like cities like Budapest, or now we are in football season, so Puskás. If you are into startups, you might have heard about Wizz Air or AI Motive or LogMeIn. But actually, I'm here to tell you that we have quite active VCs in Budapest as well, and we are one proud Budapest VC, and again, very happy to join the Plug and Play family. Maybe a few words on us. So who we are, as I said, we are a Budapest-based VC firm. We are focusing on scale-up investments, so we usually do tickets from 2 to 10 million euro. We are usually leading or co-leading investments. Our LPs include MOL, which is a Budapest-based regional energy company, and also a few banks and private individuals. We are focusing on the Central Eastern European region. That's what we know most, where we have the strongest network, where we know how to do business in all these different countries of Central Eastern Europe. Of course, we look at, let's say, a broader definition, which includes Austria and Germany as well, as you will see from our portfolio. And in terms of industries, we are looking at B2B software and services, mobility, energy, and sustainability, among others. But we are open for any fantastic team that fit this kind of scale-up criteria. So why Central Eastern Europe? Well, if you know a bit about the landscape in Hungary, Romania, or Poland, you know that we have a lot of, let's say, geeks or nerds. So a lot of great engineering talent. And actually the startup ecosystem has started to develop lately in a quite nice way. As you can see from this slide, the deal numbers are increasing, and more importantly, the scale-up deals are coming more and more in numbers. And we still see a healthy balance of supply and demand of capital in this region, which I guess is somewhat unique in the VC world today. So we feel that we are in a fantastic spot. So I mentioned the scale-up investments and Central Eastern Europe. These are the driving forces behind our portfolio. I will not go through all of them. Just to give you a snapshot, I already mentioned AI Motive. We are very proud that we have led their latest round. They are the largest startup starting from Budapest. They are focusing on self-driving technology. But our portfolio also includes companies like Serve, which is a Berlin-based shared mobility provider. And of course, we have a fantastic team, quite a diverse one, for example, from an experience perspective. So some of our team members are really ninjas in transactions. Some others are in business execution, so that we can help our startups and scale-ups with more than just capital. So again, we are proud to be here. We are proud to join the Plug and Play family and be an active member of it. And thank you very much for having us. And we are absolutely looking forward to work with everyone on the other side of the screen and maybe join for the dinner tonight. And please, whenever you think about Budapest, just visit us. We will be welcoming you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alva. Thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you also for coming to Vienna for this partner announcement, and especially thank you for joining the platform. We can't wait to visit you in Budapest next week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so up next is going to be my colleague Michele, who will introduce us to the latest industry trends. Please come on stage.
Hello. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Michele, the newest addition to the Vienna Ventures team. I'm super excited to be here. It's really amazing to work for this team. And this is also my first large event as part of Plug and Play. So bear with me. I hope that my excitement is not too much. Anyway, today I would like to talk about cities. Cities are the more inhabited and complex than ever. There is a lot of people moving into cities, and this brings new level of complexity to cities as systems. Meaning that we really have to understand what's happening to make sure that we transform cities in something more livable, more sustainable, and more efficient. Now, the way to do that is to collect data. We can collect data, obviously, especially in an urban environment, with hundreds of different solutions, ranging from all the sensors and cameras and analysis that we have about cities and urban environments. But a very interesting trend and topic that is arising in the latest year is using mobile data to analyze the movement of people within cities. Now, if you're not familiar with cell phones, they are a big thing, and they are the future. But in the world, there are about 5.3 billion cell phones already, and especially in the Western world, we can safely say that these devices are a proxy of our population on a almost one-to-one correlation. Now, what is interesting about cell phones is that there are companies like Kido Dynamics, to give you an example, that are able to analyze mobile data and extract super insightful analysis and trends from this data. For example, they are able to understand if a person is a tourist or a commuter, or if a new real estate development is affecting and how is affecting the behavior of people within the city and in the closed area to that. Now, these informations, apart of being extremely interesting, can be used for a lot of use cases. One of them, and probably it's the low-hanging fruit, is to analyze mobility models and optimize mobility models as they are right now, and also to kind of fine-tune and be able to introduce new mobility models like shared mobility, or why not flying cars. The technology is coming as well into the city systems, and not to make them more complex than they are. But when we talk about mobility, we can't exclude also the mobility of goods, because as we got to understand in the latest years, e-commerce and last mile delivery is a very important part of our life, in our day-to-day life. So we really have to get to understand how to improve these systems and kind of make them more efficient and more fast and less intrusive in our cities. Another quick use case before I get kicked out of stage is the analysis on how the people and how the data that we can extract from the people moving around can be used also by different industries. For example, the real estate industry, real estate developers, and service providers. Now, a real estate developer could, for example, anticipate what's happening, anticipate the trends, and make sure to convert spaces that now seem so important, like garage space, into spaces that would be important in the future. For example, implementing docking station for shared mobility systems. Or our airport partners could use these technologies to better forecast passenger flows and have their buildings ready for when actually people show up to the airport. For example, turning on air conditioning systems only when they are really needed. Now, all of this complex speech was to say that we really have to take a step back and understand what's happening in our cities, because they are extremely complex systems, and only through a real understanding of a system we can improve it, make it more efficient, and by making it more efficient we will end up having a more sustainable city, because at the end of the day we just have to use at the best the resources that we have. Now, with that said, I would like to welcome my colleague Nick to the stage, and I wish you all a very pleasant Expo Day ahead. We have a lot of interesting startups presenting afterwards, and a lot of interesting partners that are working on amazing projects. And yeah, see you soon.
Michaela, I'm just swiftly going to say thank you very much for this incredibly trend report. Hello, everyone. It is great to be back. It's great to be back in front of your screens on stage here in Vienna. And it's also great to talk about cool pilot projects that our corporate partners realized over the past couple of months, 6 months or so. So, this said, you will look ahead now for a few minutes with some of the coolest pilot projects our partners realized. And for that, without further ado, actually, I would like to welcome our first partner, Vienna International Airport, and with that, Stefan Kreuzhuber, who's responsible basically for realizing pilot projects, and one pilot project that you will tell us a little bit more right now. Stefan, it's great to be with you and to have you here with us.
Thank you for the warm welcome. Hello from my side. I'm very proud to present one of our latest digital POC projects at Vienna Airport. We teamed up with ePort7, a platform for automated customer communication, a chatbot, and it's a very good sign that even in a time of crisis for Vienna Airport, that we are still doing innovative new technologies here at the airport, and we introduce new technologies for our customers. So the foundation for this POC was made last year when we had a smaller POC with another company where we tried to make a small scope, find out quick results, just to find out, do our customers like this new technology? So can they work with a chatbot, or is it too innovative for them? But we were surprised. It was a very positive result. There was a huge interaction rate, and so we started to look on the market for more mature or other solutions. And at this point on our journey, we met with ePort7, and after some months of negotiation, we could make a final agreement in the first quarter of 2021. And with the start of April, we started our operational POC. So for us, this means we had to fill the knowledge base with a lot of questions and answers. So the bot is working in a way you define in the back end some specific questions and give them answers which relate to them. And when a customer types in a certain question, the AI of ePort7 compares this question with all questions in the database, in the knowledge base. And if it's certain enough, if the confidence level is high enough, the bot automatically sends the best matching answer to the question typed in by our customer. So this is a very new use case, and we're very happy. And after about 2 months, at the beginning of June, 2 weeks ago we were ready for internal testing. So we engaged our employees and co-workers to actively test the bot, to give us feedback, to report bugs and so on. And everything was fine so far. We learned a little bit. We did some improvements. And 2 days ago, which I'm very happy because it's a perfect timing for the Expo Day today, we could go live. So the bot is already live. I just show you a short video afterwards, so how it's working. And yeah, but maybe you ask, why do you do this effort? What's the reason behind this? So we have 4 reasons in our mind. The first one is staff distribution. We want to use existing human resources for second-level support instead of answering regular, easy questions which a bot could do. So a professional second-level support can be done instead of answering every time the same question, where is restaurant Y or X? As a result of this, we think that passenger satisfaction will increase because they have a better second-level support on the one hand, and on the other hand, they also get fast, accurate, and real-time information from the bot 24/7, every second they need it. So we hope this will increase their satisfaction, and this follows in increased revenues in our mind, because we found out in the past, which is no big surprise, that a satisfied customer spends more money at the airport, in our shops, in our restaurants, and so on. And so we hope that those customer satisfaction rates increase the average spending of per passenger. As well, the bot also can suggest individual restaurant and shopping tips. So if you ask for where can I eat pizza, the bot shows you restaurants at the airport where you can do this. So this also should help us to increase our restaurant revenues, we think. And the last and big point for us also is the customer data. We collect data just anonymous, not on a personal level, but we aggregate this and we see, okay, on which point of the customer journey at the airport there are questions to us. Where are problems in our customer journey? Where should we increase? And this data we can find out due to the questions asked in the bot. So how can you meet our chatbot? As I mentioned before, it's live since 2 days. You can find it at the right bottom at viennaAirport.com. Currently it's only available in German. It's time for the POC right now, but we're working to add additional languages like English within the next weeks or month. And finally, I will show you a short video where we demonstrate what the bot can do. So in this case, I click on I would like to eat or drink something. The bot is asking me, okay, what do you want? And I type in there, for example, it's pizza. The bot is searching our restaurant's database via API and gives me some good ideas where I can get pizza. I can start this loop again and ask for other food or drinks. And if I don't do this, I can type in other questions. For example, I ask for parking here, and just a few moments later I have all necessary information for parking. So we believe this solution is very helpful for many customers, and we hope that they will use it very much. And yeah, I look forward to an exciting Expo Day this afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to introduce you to our chatbot.
Stefan, thank you so much. I mean, now I'm craving pizza, so actually perfect. And you also brought a video of the team of eBot7, who you worked with quite intensively over the last couple of months. So everyone, let's have a look what eBot7 has to say about the collaboration with the Vienna International Airport.
Hi everyone, I'm Xaver Lehmann, the CEO and co-founder of eBot7, and I'm really super excited to give you a quick introduction of the company. So in general, we kind of built the next generation conversational AI platform for customer service, meaning that we try to make your company as efficient as possible. So whenever you have a request coming into the company, a question from your client, we try to automate this request, or if that's not possible yet, we at least provide recommendations to your internal agents so that they actually are able to work in a more efficient way. Our customer, Vienna Airport, already took the first step by integrating our solution on their website. So we are really happy that they were actually able to do so. And today they are presenting their chatbot solution powered by us And we're super proud of the cooperation. And thanks to our long-term partner, Plug and Play, we are introducing to you Vienna Airport. And yeah, if you would like to increase your customer service or improve everything, just talk to us. We are happy to do so. And now have fun and hope to hear from you soon. Bye.
Thank you very much. And yeah, indeed, check out the chatbot on the Vienna International Airport website. And Stefan already left me, but that's okay. Stefan, I hope you have a great Expo day, and thank you very much for joining me on stage, by the way. And we're moving on because we have a lot of corporate partners who realize pilot projects, but who are also really vital to local ecosystems like cities, who interact with stakeholders. And for that, I'm more than happy to welcome Stefanie Reutmeier from the Vienna Business Agency on stage with me, and she will actually tell you what the business agency is all about, how they interact with their stakeholders, and what services they offer. Stefanie, welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Hi, thank you for the brief introduction and also a warm welcome from my side. As already mentioned, I work for the Vienna Business Agency and I work in the Department of Technology Services. But yeah, let's start with my short presentation, who we are and what we do. So to keep it short and simple, we offer a 360-degree service for Viennese companies. So no matter what's your questions, we are happily answering it. So if you're a startup and looking for legal advice, or if you're already a settled small or medium-sized company from Vienna or want to move to Vienna, we can offer our services to you. So our services, for example, include different funding programs, but also we help to find the right location for your production facility or also for your business location. Then furthermore, we give advice and consulting on all different kinds of business-related questions you have. And one of our biggest parts is also some networking. We organize different networking events on specific topics, but also trying to help to find the right business partners for your challenges and problems. And one of our formats I want to talk about today is the so-called Co-Creation Lab Vienna. What is it about? So for example, just imagine you have a business challenge or you have an innovative idea, but you're lacking business partners or some expertise in a very specific direction. So you can tell us your challenge or your problem, and we are happy to find the right experts for your challenge. So we have a network with over 5,000 different experts where we can choose the right persons for you to help you move forward. And then within 1 or 2 workshops, the selected experts work on your challenge, and best case, your challenge or problem will be solved and you have a very innovative and new approach to your business idea. And to make it a little bit more specific, I want to talk about the workshop we had in the beginning of May with the Vienna Airport. It was all about circular economy and how to enhance circularity at the airport level. So we had 3 different questions which we monitored together with our facilitation. And the first question was all about stakeholder management. So how can we activate the people living and working on the airport to enhance circularity and also circular economy? And the second question was about which actions the Vienna airport can take to enhance circularity. And then the last question was about different best practice examples from all over the world. And the workshop took place in the beginning of May during the big Vienna Up Startup Festival, where we were happy to be part of it with our workshop. And of course, you cannot sum up more than 2 hours workshop within a few slides, so I just want to give you a brief and simple overview what were some of the outcomes. So our expert had a lot of great ideas. It was a very fruitful workshop. And some of the ideas were already very specific, and other ideas had the bigger picture in mind. So we concluded that, first of all, the Vienna airport needs a strategy, some kind of roadmap, how to engage all the different stakeholders. So, for example, the Vienna airport could develop different workshops with the stakeholder groups and also raise awareness with some kind of best practice exhibition. And then to more specific actions, we could also thought about how to support the public arrival so that the people don't arrive with their car, or I mean, not motorcycle, but yeah, car. And then also we thought about that it would be cool to have an internal marketplace for different resources to share. So for example, if one of the offices is starting a renovation process and they have some furniture they do not need anymore, maybe there is another startup just coming in right new and they are lacking furniture. So this would be a good example. And also a cooperation between farmers and the airport would be possible for sustainable and local food supply. And concerning the best practice examples from the international side, we found out that Heathrow and Singapore are already very focused on circular economy at the airport and could be a leader's example. Thank you very much. And
Stephanie, thank you so much. It was really insightful and super interesting what you can do to increase circularity at an airport. That's such a big ecosystem, basically, if you will. So, Stephanie, thank you so much. It was great having you with us. And moving on to our next corporate partner, a corporate partner that I'm really excited to have a little chat with because they implemented one of the largest pilot projects so far in this first half of the year. And for that, I'm really excited to welcome Werner Summerer from Value One with me on the stage. And yeah, to have a little chat about, how the pilot project went ahead and how the current, I'm missing the word right now, the current status is basically. Werner, it is great having you with me. Welcome to the Expo Day of Plug and Play. You have now people watching from all over the world, so don't be nervous. Just people dialing in from all over Europe, maybe from Asia, maybe from the US. So let's see, and they're all excited to hear what you have to say. It's great to have you with me.
Well, thank you, Nick. Hello, everybody. Hi, Nick. Hi, Plug and Play team. We're from Value One. I'm very happy to be here, part of this amazing event, part of this amazing network, and very happy to meet finally again in person.
Yes, it is great to talk to somebody that you actually can almost reach out to. I mean, we're keeping our distance here, but Werner. We know that you have a very exciting pilot project running with a Swiss startup, actually.
All Things.
All Things, yes. So can you maybe share a little bit about how the collaboration progressed and what the current status is?
Definitely. By the end of 2020, we were looking for the first piece in a very big picture of the future of the real estate industry. In reality, the future for us is connected, and in our day-to-day life we're connected with our friends, with our family, with working colleagues, and we needed a partner who would enhance this experience in the real estate world, therefore connecting a building as well as the people working and living inside of it. Therefore, realizing our vision of a customer-centric real estate experience. We found this partner in All Things. And we actually realized two pilot projects, one for commercial real estate and the other for Milestone, which is a student living concept. Mm-hmm. The focus was in providing the tenant with a communication tool to not only communicate with the building, but also with the other people in the whole ecosystem of the building. We made amazing progress. We made a huge learning experience, and I'm very happy that we can, in a couple of days, launch the first pilot.
That is so exciting, and I know that this is something that you just don't do overnight, right? So incredibly exciting, and I know that the team of All Things actually sent a video to talk about the collaboration with Value One.
Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely.
So let's have a look at it.
Hello. My name is Stefan Zanetti, and I am the founder of All Things. We have been contacted in the course of the last year by Plug and Play with regards to a potential project together with Value One. In the course of this project, we learned that Value One was looking for a tenant experience platform with a lot of requirements. We answered to those requirements, but we were luckily also capable to deliver our vision for the next 3 to 5 years where this market will go. Finally, we were able to convince, obviously, Value One that joint vision of building up a digital operator, a digital operations platform, is what is the best for both companies, and we succeeded finally in this pitch process as the winner. We started our cooperation with Value One in January and are going live these days with one pilot project on a commercial side and also one for student housing. We are very much looking forward to what the future will bring together with Value One, and we are very grateful for what we have learned in the course of this plug-and-play process.
So thank you very much, All Things. Thank you very much for bringing the video. It's always great to see the founders behind the startups and to hear from them how the collaboration worked.
Definitely. Thank you, Stefan.
But I still have a couple of questions before before you can leave the stage again. And Werner, you mentioned that your project with All Things is part of a bigger picture at Value One. Can you maybe paint this picture for us?
I definitely can do that, but maybe split it into two parts, namely digital operator, like Stefan mentioned it, and the second one will be a digital building brain. Digital operator, we're currently working on bringing the operators out there into the digital area. Together with All Things, processes, daily routines and other tasks will be digitalized, enhancing the efficiency of operators, but also focusing on the user experience. The second big part of this overall picture will be the digital building brain. We see the enormous amount of data that is generated within a building, be it from technical components, IoT devices, or from the people working and living inside of it. So there's a huge potential in analyzing this data and getting relevant insight by, first of all, combining the different data silos, so they're still separated by now. And the second, this holistic data set has to be analyzed for specific use cases. By that, we are able to, not only for digital operators, but for asset managers, facility managers, you name it, they will be able to get a huge transparency out of the data and insights that have never been there before. Therefore, they can raise the bar for customer experience, for sustainability requirements, as well as for efficiency.
I mean, that's very interesting. I know that, buildings are generating tons of data, right? Maybe this is a provocative question, but why is it actually necessary to have this, collective, I call it Value One brain now, and digital operator across all of your developments? Isn't it just enough to have it for one building and just to be happy with it? So I'm pretty sure you have a good answer for that, so let's hear it.
Innovation is part of our DNA, and with that mindset, you need a clear vision for the future of real estate. Our motto is, shaping simply the good, we should spaces beyond walls where people can be their best. And jumping off of this foundation, which builds a basis for all of our strategic decisions, we have the vision that future buildings will be connected and they will be intelligent. So by 10 years from now, each and every building will have a digital building brain. And in our role as a developer, we have the opportunity, but we also have the responsibility to actively engage in shaping this future and to actively realize a sustainable value added for owners as well as for the users inside the buildings.
That's a great vision, and I also love your mission. It's just super fun, and I can tell you, everyone behind the camera, it is so much fun to working with the Value One team because there is a vision ahead, and they are really trying to fill this also with innovation. This is just great, but. The year is not done, right? So we are just in the middle. It's getting warmer and warmer, also here in the studio today. Maybe you can share what's in store for the remaining half of the year at Value One. Any cool projects that you can already disclose?
Oh yeah, sure, but the two projects I mentioned, they are so big that a lot of use cases can be tackled by them. But I want to focus, or I want to point out that we will focus on sustainability, touching two specific topics. The first will be ESG goals, as well as EU taxonomy, which will play a huge role in the real estate industry. So first of all, we will look into the matter which benefits the digital operator may have in reducing carbon dioxide emissions. And the second is the digital building brain will not only be a relevant part in regulating emissions, but will also be a relevant data source for sustainability reporting. And the second big topic regarding sustainability will be the circular economy. Coming from an industry with a huge carbon footprint, we have the responsibility to actively tackle the topic and to realize a more sustainable future.
That's perfect. And with that, I will leave you. Thank you so much, Werner. It was great having you with me. Let's just do this. And looking forward to working with you.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Summerer from Value One. And everyone, now it's time to, dive a little bit deeper, have a real discussion. And I'm really excited for the upcoming panel discussion with our moderator, Katrin Hansel.
Hello and welcome to our first panel talk today, which is on smart city development. I'm going to talk about the future of sustainable urban development with the following guests. Gabriele Tatzberger, Director of Startup Services at Vienna Business Agency. She's the mastermind behind Vienna Up 21. With her team, she supports startups and founders. Moreover, she's the Managing Director of the Vienna region with a focus on international location marketing. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Anja Riedle is the head of Smart City at Swiss Federal Railways. She leads and operates the Smart City Lab Basel. Moreover, Anja is co-founder and vice president of the Smart City Hub Switzerland, a national association that aims to foster knowledge exchange and collaboration across Swiss cities and institutions. She's dialing in straight from Basel. Welcome, Anja. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Then, to my left, Herbert Hetzel, shareholder of Bauconsult Real Estate Group and founder and CEO of Beyond Carbon Energy. He's got more than 40 years of experience in real estate development as well as project management. With Bauconsult Real Estate Group, he develops extraordinary residential construction projects as well as office properties. In 2015, he founded Bauconsult Energy to motivate and implement regenerative energy in real estate projects.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And last but not least, Bashi Dürr, CEO of Uptown Basel. His professional experience includes various positions in the media and communication industry. In 2012, he was elected as a representative to the Basel Stadtgovernment and led the Department of Justice and Security for 8 years. Today, he's the CEO of Uptown Basel, a real estate company developing one of Switzerland's leading clusters in the field of Industry 4.0. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Lovely having you here today. So the corona pandemic has changed most of our lives. So we may have new working habits, or we may have new needs in general, and so has the urban environment changed. So this particularly affected the mobility sector and urban planning in general. So that's why I want to ask you, Bashi. I mean, you've been in many different industries, including PR and politics, but you now settled in the real estate industry. What does a crisis mean to you, and how important is resilience in it?
Well, first of all, many thanks for the invitation. I joined from Basel as well, so we are two representatives of Basel on this stage, so that really seems to place to be. Despite Vienna, for sure. Both cities, I guess, are perceived as one of the livables around the globe. So I've had the privilege to fly from one paradise to the other today. But we are not talking about paradises, but about crisis. And the corona crisis, it's often said that a crisis is also a chance. This is a bit of platitude, maybe, from sometimes. And for sure, it's a chance, first of all, to overcome the crisis itself. So to find solutions in the crisis, against the crisis. So the fire is always a challenge or a chance, not only a challenge, but also a chance for the fire brigade. And the more interesting question is what will remain from that crisis? And people say, well, that's the big game changer. There will be a world totally different after COVID than before. I am a bit skeptical on that. We all do not know. We will see what future will bring, but I guess lots of things are coming back quite quickly. would I assume, at least. But what the crisis shows, or maybe the crisis will show, is it's kind of a catalyst of some trends that have been there before COVID as well. So for instance, all home office, digitalization, all that kind of stuff, that was invented far before COVID, but we didn't use it in a way we are forced during that crisis to use it. And I think the general learning of that is basically that even though in our world, which is quite stable, which is quite peaceful, challenges, crises can come, really fundamental ones, and there is a need for a certain flexibility. I think we have maybe to rethink about flexibility. How are we capable to challenge such a crisis? Are we flexible enough? And when you are talking about planning for the future, I think this point of flexibility we should have a stronger focus on.
Gabriele, you work with a lot of startups. How do startups support established companies with regard to business resilience?
Now, when you look at the resilience, what does it mean? There is an unpredictable threat, and you have to react on it. And the thing is, how do you react on it? And you are very successful if you're after the threat stronger than before. So what does it mean? You mentioned it already, agility, flexibility, and then you really have to be on the market. And I think if you look at startups and big corporates and how they work and how they are structured, they really can benefit from each other because startups are more agile, more flexible, and more radical in their product development and process development. On the other hand, corporates, have a market power. They have their structures. They have really power. And what we see is if these two work together, you really need a clear commitment in terms of budget and human resources, because otherwise, it's nice, but nothing will come out. And what we also learned is really that the head of the corporate has to be convinced that this is important, because otherwise the structures beyond are working very hard, but at one end is a dead end. And then all the efforts are not really successful. And there are many good examples how it can work, but it's really hard job for both sides, because also I know from the startups, they always complain, decision processes need so long, it needs time until you get the right contact, because there are many hundreds of people and you have to find the one who really is the right one. And they also have to raise awareness within the corporate, because one person doesn't decide anything. So it's really a challenging process, but we see many examples where it's really of benefit for both sides.
Herbert, you say that you support resilience through innovative product developments in-house, but also with external partners. So you're banking on doubling down on innovation. So what I want to know is, what do you particularly value about a startup collaboration, and to what extent do you actually work with them?
Well, there's a reason why we are part of the plug-and-play family. We are, I think, quite intensively living this family life with plug-and-play. We had, I think, 5 or 6 deal flows in the last year. So we are in this field of operation very, very intensive and active. It's a strategic decision from the owners that innovation is part to ensure the company's resilience. There's no question. And so therefore we are very keen on getting in touch with those startups. Maybe we have a little different approach than others, because we don't come as investors. We are looking for solutions we may implement in the company to support our own processes or our in-house work. But at the same time, we are very keen in looking into partnerships with startups to make our products much, much better. You've seen before the presentation of Value One. I think this is on the digital side one of the very big things that we are trying to implement now in the residential area and in the business area of real estate. So I'm very sure that this digital brain is going to be something very exciting in future. And this is just an outcome of the work we did together with Plug and Play, so I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun working together with you.
Best of all. Anja, you lead the Smart City Lab in Basel, so that's a place where startups can flourish and set everything right for the big deal coming up. What are the specific goals of Smart City Lab Basel?
So just real quick, for everybody who doesn't know, the Smart City Lab Basel yet is a joint cooperative between Canton Basel-Stadt and SBB, and we've set it up on a former freight yard. It's 16 hectares in size, it's really huge, and it's more or less an interim or pioneer use for the upcoming urban redevelopment that this site will undergo starting in like 2024, 2025. And our main goal is to find solutions that will help us to make this more or less, well, freight yard or site the smartest city district in Basel. I know that Bashi's probably watching us closely what we are doing here. Of course, we're cooperating and talking to each other. Basel is a small city compared to other cities.
So we are partners and competitors.
That's a good mix, actually. And we're looking for solutions, as I said, to make this area extra smart. And since we don't know everything yet, what's on the market, we are trying to get those startups in to help us find the solutions that are kind of state of the art. And we are offering them a place in our freight yard, it's former facility halls or maintenance halls, and that's where they've installed themselves, and now they're testing and developing their solutions. And the great thing is that we're building up a community of like-minded companies or startups, and we have also a lot of corporate partners, and together they find new solutions to make cities smarter, more livable, more resource efficient, and so on. So that's our main goal, trying to get the solutions from the partners to put them into practice, but also share the knowledge with everybody else.
And do you observe that established companies are more and more open to work with startups? And if so, are there certain trends to be observed, for instance, like property technology or digitalization in general?
Well, we do observe that companies or also corporates are more open to work with startups. We've opened the lab in April 2019, so we've been up and running for about 2 years. We've grown our community to more than 60 partners. It's from business, science, and public authorities. And as I said, on the business side, it's large corporates, but it's also small startups. And they come together. And from my opinion, it's the heterogeneity that is key to actually create these really smart solutions. And they find a common denominator while meeting in the lab. And that's where they develop new smart solutions. And as I said, I feel they are really open to startup collaboration because, as one of the other speakers just said before me, it's sometimes they're like really big tanks, those corporates, and those startups a bit more in this speedboat mode. So that's where they can join forces and create synergies. And as an exact example, we've managed to match one of our startups even with a public arm, the Kantonspolizei Basel-Stadt. And now the company is called Upvolt, and they're doing second life upcycling for batteries. And now they're actually taking care of the e-bike fleet of the police by charging batteries, upcycling the old ones, and so on. So this is great cooperation thanks to the lab. And I think the startup would not have tapped into the Kantonspolizei otherwise. It was due to this community that we've built up.
Yeah, good to hear. So people's lives and their everyday needs actually have changed over the past year. Bashi, how much did this actually affect the real estate industry, especially urban planning in general?
Well, I guess it's too early really to predict what the consequences, particularly of this corona crisis, is for the real estate company. Whether there will be what the offer and the demand will develop, whether home office will stay in the size we've experienced now over the last year, or people are coming back, or kind of a mixtures. I think the market reaction, we don't see spectacular price shifts for the time being, at least in Switzerland. So, as I said before, maybe more will come back than we expect nowadays. But it's a bit speculating for sure. But coming back to my point of the flexibility or the agility, real estate constructing, building always takes time. And once you start planning something, it takes years till it's realized. And particularly in public planning, when it comes to political discussions, then you decide now something now, and that will be open in 10 years' time. But what will the situation be in 10 years' time is quite also a speculation. And maybe here to find some more speed and just to realize we don't have to build for eternity. We always think when we build really stable, really for the eternity, really considering all kind of things that may come, an earthquake once a million year, the building should stand. Maybe that's not really sustainable. So not just building for eternity, but to keep flexibility. And maybe to say we do that, or we plan that, or we build that for just 20 years. And so we don't know what the situation will be in 20 years' time. So let's have the courage to say that building, that plan is only for 20 years.
But is this really sustainable?
Well, keeping flexibility, I think, is also yeah, that's sustainable. I think it can be sustainable, yes.
Herbert, you say that the urban environment is changing a lot, not only because of COVID. So where do you see big changes at the moment?
Well, urban environment was changing always. So if we look into the past, there's been almost no brick on top of the other. And just to challenge your opinion a little, we have housings, old housings in Vienna, which let's say are about 150 years old, and due to some magic, they are flexible enough so that we could provide all the necessary changes that came up in society, in culture, in our way of living. We could implement all those changes in those buildings. Even once they were built, they've been state-of-the-art. Today, they look totally different. So those buildings, they had this flexibility, where I underline your opinion very, very thick, because they had this flexibility to be adapted to those changes that we see in society in the last 150 years. But what I recognize is, from my point of view, the speed is much higher where we face those changes. So, I mean, it took us 30 to 40 years to adapt the change from horses to automotive. We know now exactly that in the next 5 to 10 years we'll see autonomous driving, but we don't adapt our systems yet. We are still building parking facilities by the number. We know today that they will not be used, not when we have autonomous driving. So it could be a big chance to look into there are some mega trends where we don't have to discuss if they come or not come. Yeah, you're right. There are many things where we have to look into a crystal ball to see what's going to come up in the next 10 years. But those mega trends, they will for sure not change very much. And we could adapt to that today already. So this I think, is a very big challenge for urban planning because this is our surrounding, where we then, when we come there and we put some buildings in there, okay, it's more or less our responsibility if they are flexible and if they are fitting into the market and if they are intelligent. But the surrounding, this is the place where the people live. Yeah. This is the very important area.
Bashi, you want to respond, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. But talking about these megatrends, 6 years ago, the megatrend was the car-friendly town, the car-friendly city. And then we started to build motorways. And 50 years later, all the motorways are built. Cities are more or less car-friendly. And now we say, well, that was a big mistake. We have to come back to the city of short distances and biking and e-mobility and all that kind of stuff. So when we realize a megatrend, once it's realized, once it's built, maybe there is a new megatrend.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, yes, this will happen. This happened since the last few hundred years. Yeah, so I'm totally with you. Yes, we have to be flexible. Yeah.
So, Gabriele,
big scale and small scale.
Sure.
Discussion still going on. So, how has the real estate industry and the urban environment and development in general changed as a result of the COVID pandemic, and what measures are being taken by the Vienna Business Agency?
So I would say urban planning didn't change so far. During crisis, we had to manage the city. The city had to work. This was the main task. The health system, all the garbage collection, everything had to work. The energy system had to work. So this is focus number one. Concerning real estate, what we really see is we can't say what the long-term effect is, but we saw shifts in offices, the need of offices. We see now that in the apartments there are the needs. They need bigger apartments if they do homeworking. And urban planning is a long-term process. It's very hard to react as a city, very flexible and agile to these developments. What we are doing, for example, as the Vienna Business Agency, we saw that retail had a serious problem now during COVID. So we have a specific grant for real retail shops in the ground floor, because here it comes to environment. If I walk through a city, I see something. And if there are no shops and no nice restaurants, it affects my life. And this is why we have a focus on also giving grants to company owners, restaurants, and also shops in order to be on the ground floor and to support to a nice environment. What we also did is we made a specific grants program for companies. We called it Innovate for Vienna, and we were looking for solutions to overcome the crisis in a better way. So looking for new solutions, and in a way we supported agility from SMEs, startups, and corporates. So they applied, and there were really great projects, which also is, they are stronger after the crisis as well, because they have a new product portfolio that is also worthwhile after the crisis. And maybe a third example is, as we are also ourselves in real estate, it's really our main aim to show also real estate branch to make a technology part in energy efficient or energy plus. So 10 years ago, we already opened a technology park in the lakeside Aspern, which is one of the biggest urban development sites in Europe. And this is the living lab for smart city, where we try everything out in real life: mobility, how we plan the city, how we construct the building, what we are doing with the ground floor and the management of the ground floor, so everything. So this is our testbed, and we ourselves are built this technology center and are now having a new pilot project, building which should also be self-energy efficient, and where production on several levels is taking place besides living. Because we also want diversity in the city. We don't want this one production side and here living. We want to combine it. And we start this project to build next year. And we're really keen because we see a lot of potential also to show what's possible on a small place within the city in a sustainable way.
So we hear that some approaches need to be reconsidered. That's what I want to ask you, Herbert, actually. Do you think that some approaches, well-known approaches, how to build a house, do they need reconsideration just because of COVID?
Well, I mean, this COVID crisis is a crisis, there's no question, yeah? And everybody who had this illness knows that could be threatening. So, but when I'm looking into the output at the end of the day, there have been bigger things that changed our life, yeah? So changes happen all the time, so I don't want to focus too much on the COVID issue regarding that. We have to be...
May I add something? Which really, for COVID, we have a vaccine. For climate change, we will not have a vaccine. So we have another really, really huge challenge where we have all joined forces. And I think every solution that helps us to overcome these challenges.
And I want to underline that. I mean, COVID did help that we write the words climate change and sustainability now in bigger letters than before. Obviously, we had the time at home to think about that. If we don't overcome climate change, there are many problems we won't have anymore. So this is what we are actually focusing on, and therefore we are providing heating and cooling for residential buildings carbon-free, not neutral. Carbon-free. And this allows me then to think of some, let's say, prototypic ideas. If energy, heating and cooling for residential can be provided carbon-free, maybe there's a big change how we build buildings if this energy doesn't cost anything. How would we build today if we have carbon-free energy available, but it doesn't cost €1? This would change our approach to how we build totally. This may be a key issue to have your flexibility thinking in how to erect a building, because the regulations now we have how to erect a building brings us to a point where we invest a lot of money to protect it against heat losses or cooling losses or whatever. So if you only have to protect the people living in or working in this building against any damages, and we would not have to think about energy anymore, as it is free of cost and carbon-free, then we will see totally different types of buildings. Pop-up buildings coming, going. Our city will look different daily, more or less.
Yeah. Now we are coming back to the paradise.
Yeah.
I initially talked about.
I'm working on that. You too.
Very good.
Bashi, but what's the focus in urban planning in regards to sustainability in Switzerland?
Well, I think the buzzwords are more or less all the same. It's about, as I mentioned, the city of short distances, of combining back working and living, not the people that commute for hours every day, more biking than driving a car, all that stuff. But maybe to stress another point beyond what have been said already, I think it's really important to take the people, to not forget the people, not only to talk about technology, not only to talk about smart, intelligent solution that may work. People have to be convinced, and people they must want to use it. And I think that's quite a challenge. And we had a votation in Switzerland, maybe you've read about that, about a climate law, kind of a climate law, that was a bit surprisingly rejected. And maybe it's the first time during this climate discussion worldwide, the people really voted on a law, and they said no. Well, there are some specific reasons, and that's not the end of all truth, but it shows it's not just we talk about climate change, we talk about sustainability, we talk about new urban planning, and then for sure people will follow us. They must be convinced, and they must see kind of an advantage, not only there will be a world in 200 years' time, but really, at the end, what's in for me today, tomorrow, but also today. And so these aspects of these discussions, we should never forget, talking always about technologies and solutions and smart intelligence, new things.
Will the changes in our lives and in the urban environment make the sustainability goals more easy to reach or more difficult to reach?
I think it didn't change. So it is a huge challenge, and as you have mentioned, we cannot only talk about technology, we also have to talk about the people and the acceptance of the peoples. And many things are really also long-term projects. If I think of, the sewage water plant in Vienna that is now energy efficient, self-efficient, or in the underground to use the bracket energy. It's a lot of research necessary, piloting necessary until you are in a stage where you really can go to the broad. And I think it's really important that the convenience that we are used to have, it should not be reduced, because then the acceptance is the problem. If you don't see a benefit, in the best case, it's better than before. So you have the same level of comfort, and it's CO2 neutral and good for the environment. So then you have the people, but this is a huge challenge, and I think worldwide there are many projects going on that are going into the right direction, but the implementation really to cover the whole city with such a project, this is, it needs time as well, money and time.
And big role plays the mobility as well. So to what extent have mobility needs changed recently, Anja? Maybe you could observe some trends in the past year.
Well, I don't only want to look into the past year. I mean, the whole climate change topic has actually given us a rise. So people jumped on the train, night trains were back on, like really on the flight shaming, and all these topics came up. And then there was COVID around, and then it's coming back to this, okay, what's the collective benefit and what's my individual need in this very moment? And we've seen a harsh decrease in demand for public transportation over the past year during COVID, because people were worried about their security. They wanted to have distance to others. And for us at SBB, we're not only, we are as per most known as a train company, but what I was talking about before was more a real estate developing company side. So we've seen many empty trains and many empty train stations, and it's still at a very low level, even though the commuting part is coming back. But it seems that people return to their cars, and the car volume, commuting by car, is almost back to normal. And at our train stations, we're still at about -30 or -40% of the patronage we had before. So this is quite a serious problem. And of course, we hope that people will come back over time, because they also see the climate factor again. But it will probably need some more patience on side of SBB. So yeah, we've definitely seen a change in mobility needs over time, but I just really hope it comes back. And of course, we have seen some positive changes too, as mentioned before, people taking the bike and so on. But of course, the train is a very important component in Switzerland. It's a country that really loves trains. So we hope that people will sooner or later come back and value what we have with our great network.
Well, we hope that we all get back to normality very, very soon. Many thanks to all panelists for joining me here at the Trend Talk today. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Thanks, Anja Riedle, for joining us virtually. Greetings to Basel.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for joining us live here on stage. If you want to get in touch with one of our speakers, please feel free to get in touch with the guys from Plug and Play, and they are more than happy to connect you. Thank you.
Now I'm live again. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's me again on stage, and I just was mesmerized by the panel discussion. It was really interesting, but we're not done yet for the smart cities part. We have now, I mean, we are Plug and Play, right? It is about new technologies. It is about startups. And we also have, and we were very lucky about that, to have VC partners as well here at Plug and Play. And our newest addition to our platform is here with me. It is the team of Presto Tech Hub, Atanas Zelev and Rainer Swacinska. All right, Atanas, Rainer, it is great having you with us today. I know that you have prepared some of your startups that you are working with quite extensively from, you can say overseas, right? It's although there's no real sea in between, but like from far away, basically. You brought us some really interesting startup pitches, but before that, I would like to hand over the microphone to you so that you can introduce what you guys do, how startups can get in touch with you, and what Presto Tech Hub is all about.
Yes, thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here on the stage and to have us here. We're Presto, and we help companies come here to the European market and settle down, find resources, and also grow into the European market. So it's not really overseas, as you said. We have actually one company overseas from the United States. They're going to be today. You'll be able to access them. Unfortunately, we're going to present two companies today from our portfolio. We're very excited to be here. We work at the moment in Austria for about 1.5 years and have 8 startups currently here doing POCs in Austria. And we'll be having a much major event in October. Those companies bringing here at the airport their devices, etc. But otherwise, we're very excited to present 2 of our top lineup here today. Something from Rainer, maybe?
maybe we can start with our startups, because I think they are the best to present our work and to show what kind of startups we're looking for and with kind of like the support we are providing to them here in Austria.
Absolutely. Then let's go with the first one. It's a LinkFlow. It's a 360-degree camera and broadcasting technology with its own platform. A spin-off of Samsung with a very competent team of crew, and currently very exciting to bring this company here in Europe and also in the United States through our partner network. So we can start with that.
Let's have a look at it.
Hello, this is Ryan, Sales Manager from LinkFlow. It is my great honor to participate in this pitch session. Today, we would like to introduce wearable cameras for consumer and commercial markets. LinkFlow is the world's only 360 wearable camera company, and we developed 3 products such as Fit 360, PB, and Next 360. The hardware of the Fit 360 and PB is same, but the firmware is different. We combine Fit 360 single camera with Zoom or Teams to provide the remote communication from indoor or outdoor. Since the device is worn around the neck, 2 hands are free for any necessary tasks. Whereas the PB is a dash cam for motorbikes or bicycles or scooters. 3 Full HD cameras record the footages, so it covers 360 degrees. If accident happens from behind or side, footages will show how it happened. Now, let us move to Next 360, which is developed for industrial and security purpose. It has 4 HD cameras and it live streams of 360 quad view or 180 panorama view. There are 2 different use cases for the device. First one is an ordinary day. Live streaming will be used to show the project progress to headquarters or auditors or other officers. It will be kept as a project daily report. Also, the strong point is that it doesn't need any installation, and it can be deployed at a very early stage of the project without any blind spots. Another is a case when accident happens. If there is an accident, control center can respond to the emergency situation immediately. And when police begin the investigation, these footages will be used as an evidence. Due to the obvious evidence, police will not block the scene of the accident for a long time. This will allow the company to begin the operation again and reduce further losses. Here are some sales references in Korea, and as you can see, this product is deployed at various project sites, such as apartments, buildings, airports. Now, more and more companies are contacting us to establish monitoring system with wearable cameras. In addition, please check the sales references of the security as well. So this is the end of the presentation, and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to introduce our products. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The second company I want to present is called Cycure. But before we get to that, it was one very strategic thing that we do in Presto when we help companies come here at the European and Austrian market is to help them facilitate public funding from the Austrian agency. And here that's why we have Rainer working 15 years in this industry. We recently arranged some large funding, 1.5 million for one of our company's keepers. But this is something strategic that we do. And here is Cycure, which we're doing that for them as well here in Austria. And now they're also starting to POC. So we have been working very hard with them. They are a sanitation device, very suitable after the COVID crisis for the automotive sector and the real estate sector, also running major POCs with Hyundai and currently bringing it here in Austria to the railway sector as well. So we can go next to Cycure.
Hi, thank you for hearing to our presentation. My name is Selina and I'm the CTO of Cycure. I'd like to introduce our company Cycure and product shortly. Do you know there are many bacteria and viruses in our daily life? Many people are trying to sterilize their space. However, UV sterilizer like cup sterilizer that are commonly used can harm our health. It causes DNA damage and can lead to skin cancer and even blindness. So we developed a product to kill bacteria or viruses. The space sterilizer Q-Clean has 4 main features. First, it can kill 99% of bacteria and viruses. Second, it is safe for the human body, like fluorescent lamp. Third, we have patents for extensive sterilization. Fourth, you can use the product with less than €1 per month. We have obtained certification that Q-Clean kills 99% of the coronaviruses and bacteria. We also have certification of harmless for human body, and we have 5 patents in Korea, US, Europe, Japan, and China. We have business partners in the United States, Japan, Asia, and Europe, and we plan to further expand our partners in the future. Hyundai Kia Motor Group provided funds to us in POC to create sterilization modules for us to enter the vehicle. We exhibited the sterilization module at the headquarters of Hyundai Kia Motor Company. And we also have installed our sterilization module in the city bus. There are the places where we installed our products. We supply Q-Clean to restaurants, karaoke rooms, beauty shops, pharmacies, hospitals, and banks. It is in steady demand in government offices and has been installed in the National Police Agency, City Hall, and schools. We have superior compactness compared to other companies. Our products are harmless to the human body and have the ability to sterilize the widest range. We are moving forward for a virus-free world, and we are looking for business partners to join us. We can do new research and development to apply our certification module. In addition, we are always up to investment or sales part. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions or would like to join us, please feel free to email.
Well, thank you very much. They were really cool pitches. But there's still something for the audience to do. There is a QR code on your screen. If you scan this QR code, then it will be directed to all the Presto Tech Hub's startup pitches so that you can re-watch it again. And there is one more, so please make sure to scan it and check out all the pitches. I'm just going to leave it on for a couple of seconds. However, if you miss to scan the QR code, not a problem. Just reach out to us, and we will make sure to send you all the pitch videos. Perfect. Presto team, thank you so much. Thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you with us at our Expo Day, and also for showing us all the cool startups that you are working with. Now we're moving on to the next venture capital fund, basically, and they are from the Czech Republic, from Prague. It is a venture capital fund that we were working with for quite some while now, very active, and I'm super happy to welcome the team of Inven Capital, Daniel Edgerly and Martin Forstmeier. Daniel, Martin, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you very much. We're super excited to be here.
Yes, finally in person, right?
Exactly. It's been a long time since we've been anywhere.
That's true. Way too long. But we're going to make sure that we're going to have more events in person. So I'm really positive about that. Inven Capital, you actually brought one of your startups with you as well, and you have something prepared for us, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So take it away, please.
Thank you very much. So I would like to introduce, to start off with, myself and Martin. So we are part of the investment team at Inven Capital. So we are an exciting, well, we think exciting venture capital fund based out of Prague, but we are investing throughout Europe and also in Israel. And now also with the advent of Brexit, we are also investing in the UK as well. So it's pretty exciting times. We started around 5 years ago. We raised 240 million euros in capital to invest. That comes from our utility, our main backer called Chess Group, and also the European Investment Bank since 3 years ago. So these slides are not the most exciting slides, but I think that we are quite exciting group of people at Inven Capital, and Martin will come on to some of the stuff that we've done at events, which we're not going to do today, but you can look out on some stuff on YouTube about us, which we think is taking a little bit of a risk there as well, which is interesting. So this is kind of a little bit about Inven. We're a fund which invests in growth stage startups. So these are startups which are looking to really kind of scale up to already have some interesting innovations in the market and are looking to really back that with some kind of growth capital. So we invest around up to 30 million euros, which is quite a sizable fund, I think, for the European market. So where do we invest? So but given our backers and our interest in sustainability, we really kind of focus on the energy and kind of global clean tech space. And for us, this is super exciting space to be, and we've seen a huge change in what has happened in this space in the last 5 years. So, Martin.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I think this slide probably describes best what we are, what we're doing, and what we have achieved in the last years. This is our amazing portfolio, and we are really proud of it. So we did 14 investments since 2015, and we have already achieved 2 exits. One was Sonnen, was acquired by Shell in 2019. This was the biggest clean tech exit in Europe so far. And one was CyberX, an Israeli company, industrial cybersecurity, acquired by Microsoft. And yeah, as Dan said, like we started in energy, so we had like Sonnen, Tado, Sunfire, investments in Germany. Now quite big companies, quite big startups. But then we also converted more to like other sustainable topics, like for example smart city, which is the theme of today. So one example is Vlog, that's a back-end operating software for car sharing, but also Cloud and Heat, and they will actually present just after us. And then we also have companies like Solar in our portfolio, which is an online installation company for PV, so where you can buy from 0 to 1 your PV panels online, and many more topics, which we are also looking at now and which we will touch base later on. And as Daniel just mentioned, sometimes we are a bit different than other funds maybe. So what we say, we embrace the soul of a winner spirit. This means we invest in the founders of the companies and in what they stand for. And they are out there, or you are out there every day pitching to investors or to partners or to customers. So that's what we are doing as well. And we go on the stage and basically show in a bit different way what we are standing for and what we like to do.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think that's something which we really stand behind, and some of our events which we hold, I think once a year during normal non-COVID times, called Soul of a Winner, and that's really what we look for in our startups, in our founders. We look for this person who has this ability to surround themselves with people who help them succeed. We call it a constellation of success, and we find this is something which actually has driven our fund and our portfolio of companies to be really quite exceptional. Yeah, and so our last but not least, is kind of our tagline, is our mantra: we help startups.
That's a good mantra, and I've never been to one of your events, unfortunately, but I've seen the videos, and I urge everyone to check them out, because this is really what Inven Capital is all about, right? It's about, as you said, the founders. It's about the startups, and talking about startups, we have one of your portfolio companies already dialed in. So, Cloud and Heat, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, welcome to Vienna. Welcome to Plug and Play's Expo Day. And yeah, you're live on stage with us, together with Daniel and Martin. So it is great to have you with us. And it's also great to hear a little bit more about what you do, about your roadmap ahead. And I would just say, without further ado, hand over the virtual microphone to you, and the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. And thank you also for the invitation. And I really have to say we are proud that we are one of the very exciting companies that Inven has invented. And to be honest, we are only there where we are right now because they say we help startups, and they do. So this is something we really felt, and I will show you that we are actually up to something really big here. We built the sustainable edge computer. So the greenest data centers for smart cities and citizens. So let me see if that works. Yeah, so there are three big challenges we have in our new digital world, right? So one is, and this axis has no y-axis because it's an exponential growth. And this is not the virus, luckily, but it is all about digitalization. So the number of data is just exploding. And I'm not going into detail in which different areas this is happening, but this is happening, and this is a good thing, right? So, but it is also a challenge because always if you have something exponential, you have to cope with this. And the other big challenge, of course, for everybody on this world is we have to go to a sustainable world. So we have to solve this. And exponential growth and sustainability is something critical that is critical together, especially if you think about data and data centers. And the third thing that is of concern of everybody is our personal security, data security. So what we do with our data, if you talk about data centers, about data processing, we have to cope with the fact that these are personal information that not everybody should get. So the good news for all investors and everybody is we really have this exponential growth. And I have just a graph here how AI and artificial intelligence, how that is growing. And you see again, this is growing exponentially. Now, the drawback of this is the energy demand of all this computing work is actually growing as well. And it almost looks, it seems to go exponential as well, which we have to work on that this will not happen. But even that it grows is a problem because we want to have the energy consumption going down. So this is the kind of the big challenge. And I lost, okay. So what we essentially do is we address this. We address this by building data centers where you actually capture the heat from the servers coming in liquid, like in water, and then you can reuse that for example, heating purposes. So we're not only running data centers with green electricity, but we're also reusing the heat. And here in this picture, you can see how a classical server looks like. On the left-hand side, you have big cooling blocks and you have a lot of air you have to press through with fans. In the right-hand side, it's a modified server modified by us, where basically we have put the cooling infrastructure on there to allow very green cooling. And this very green cooling allows us, for example, in Frankfurt, in the Eurotheum, this is one of the big skyscrapers in the Frankfurt city, to run a highly secure data center on the 6th floor, but at the same time use the energy of the servers that is captured by liquid, by water, to heat up the building, especially in the winter, and also to provide the upper 10 floors of the Emilia Inside Hotel with warm water all year round. And by doing so, this is not only for the environmental good, it's also economically interesting because we're saving a lot of cooling cost for this data center that typically otherwise had to cool with air conditioning. And of course, we save heating cost for the building as well. So our solution is basically not only that we have a smart cooling solution, but we want to build the green edge infrastructure. And the edge infrastructure also means the environment around it. So the cloud infrastructure, the life cycle management of the digital infrastructure. And we're using open source tool and open source infrastructure that we have developed that is highly secure together with the very energy efficient hardware. And these forms together basically the data centers and the compute of the future. It comes in small sizes as a rack, it comes in container data centers, but it comes also large space data centers like a full level of a skyscraper or a bigger data center. So next slide. Our vision is really that the data center environment will change. So we have hyperscalers that are very successful, they will remain successful, but there is plenty of room for more local data centers that are connected to the cities, where you can do heat recovery of the servers, for example, and that run also with very secure software solutions so people can also kind of decide where to put their data, even physically, right? And if we do that in a smart way, we can do that in a distributed way. And you see Europe here, and you can have data centers all across Europe, and you can decide where to put your workload. So the customer can decide, but also we can decide and say, hey, there's a solar farm in Spain producing a lot of electricity, put the workload there. Or we say, hey, in Northern Europe, we have a lot of heating demand in the winter. Let's put more workload there to generate more waste heat that can be used then for heating purposes. And that is also at the long run, our vision, a decentralized computing infrastructure that is very robust and it's very environmental friendly, using a very good software that is open source and secure. And this is also already my conclusion, and I hope, next slide. So our vision is really a decentralized infrastructure for smart load balancing and compute jobs all over the world. This is a big journey, we know, but we also see now with the agenda 2030 and 2050, we now see there's much more interest coming up. Our goal is to have really a valuable CO2 calculation from each compute load. And since we are also compensating heat demand of other people by providing waste heat of the service, we can even build data centers that are carbon negative, not only carbon neutral due to the green electricity, but even carbon negative because we substitute coal and gas on other facilities because they can reuse the heat that's generated anyhow by the data center. And I invite you to join our journey, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Jens, and thank you very much for your presentation. Everyone, get in touch with Cloud and Heat. You can either get in touch via Plug and Play, via Inven Capital, or you've just seen all the contact details. So yeah, Jens, thank you so much. Servus from Vienna, and I hope next time you can join us here live on stage.
Servus from Dresden. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
All right. So we've seen one of your portfolio companies, and I mean, our ventures team has been working with Inven, with you guys for quite some while now, and we kind of already know in which directions you like to invest and what kind of industries are interesting for you. But I mean, things are always changing, right? So, and what is interesting for me, and I think also for all the for our audience, is basically what is new for you guys? Like, is there something that you're currently looking into? What are you looking at the moment?
Yeah, thanks. I would take that, Nick. I would say currently we see a major trend that sustainability is becoming mainstream.
Yeah.
And so that's quite nice for us because we're doing it already since 7 years. And we are broadening up our focus also from like our typical original like energy background and like smart city background to different areas in sustainability. One really big one is actually right now finance. So where finance and sustainability is kind of touching right now. So we looked at some models like sustainable neobanks, sustainable fintech companies, and not only for like new opportunities, that's important, but also actually for our portfolio companies. So, for example, Solar, who is like installing PV on rooftops, they are now finding new means of financing the systems for their consumers or how the end consumers can finance them, and the other portfolio companies as well. This is like really important right now where the solutions are kind of getting mainstream and in the money, but so they're like available for the broader mass where you need to finance it in this way. Other topics, for example, is also like supply chain traceability, quite important. That's quite important in the value chain of like EV batteries, for example. So these kind of solutions we are looking at right now, and there's like massive backwind with all the regulations, with the Green Deal coming. So quite exciting times, I would say.
Quite exciting times ahead. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, and I mean, we also heard from Michaela, our ventures analyst today during the Smart Cities trend report that, I mean, logistics and also last mile delivery. This is something that is increasing, and there needs to be a solution, like a smart tech solution, preferably. So very, very exciting. But you guys also showed us your portfolio, and it is a very successful portfolio, we have to say. But was there anything in particular exciting this year for your portfolio companies? And also maybe looking a little bit ahead. I mean, still first half of the year. What's in store? Maybe you can share it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I can start there. I mean, it's hard to know where to start, to be honest, because it's been every year you think you can't top the last year, and then we top it.
That's good. I mean, that's awesome.
It's down to our portfolio companies. I mean, they put in so much work, and you see they don't take a break, these guys, and we see the passion behind what they do. And just in terms of, I think, numbers, I think this year we had 3 new investments, 3 new portfolio companies come in. Really interesting topics. So we've got, I think we had 3 refinancings of current portfolio. We had 1 exit as well, which was mentioned in one of the previous slides from CyberX. So we've had a lot of really interesting stuff go on. We've started to see a lot more interest also in the kind of clean tech space from the large US investors. So I think it was EIP invested in Solar as well later this year or last year. And yeah, and I think looking forward, there is a huge amount to look forward to. If we're kind of looking at where we are in terms of the lifetime of our fund, currently we're in the kind of last year of our investment period, so we still got to look after all the kind of investments we've made to date and continue to grow those over the coming years. But then we've got a hopefully new fund coming next year, and things are looking good in terms of signing those guys up again to help us finance these companies. And we maybe even have a mythical creature coming into our portfolio in the near future as well. So we've got a lot of exciting stuff here, and some more exits as well lined up.
Some more exits and a mythical creature.
Well, let's see. Nothing's.
All right, that's exciting. Now I'm really curious. So. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot in store for you, and it's like it's an exciting few months until the end of this investment period, but it's not the end, right? There is
just the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
Exactly.
You said it, Martin. Yeah, so everyone, make sure to dial in also for the next events, because I hope that you can share a little bit more about these mythical creatures that might join your portfolios. So yeah. Daniel, Martin, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much for joining us actually live here in Vienna. I know it was a little bit of a 1-2 hours car drive, was it?
4.5 on
train. 4.5 hours. Apparently a drive to a speed, apparently. So, but it's great to have you with us here, and we're looking forward to also spending the day with you. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining us, and thank you very much also for introducing us to your portfolio and all the audience.
Thanks so much, and thanks so much to Plug and Play for all the support they've been giving us.
Just stay with me a second, and we are moving on with our next corporate partner, with the Vienna Insurance Group, and with all the pilot projects that they've been doing. And for that, I am welcoming Wolfgang Riegler, who is responsible for the group development and strategy. And Wolfgang, he will be joining me live on stage just in a second. And here he is, Wolfgang. It is great to have you with us. Welcome to Plug and Play's Expo Day. I think it is your first Expo Day, right?
Actually, it is my first Expo Day, so thank you for welcoming me here. It's next to my first Expo Day. I think it's also one of my first outside meetings again, which doesn't happen virtual. After a bit more than a year, nice experience.
So we feel honored that we are one of the first events that you join. And I know that you've been quite busy at the Vienna Insurance Group and Wiener Städtische, and I'm really looking forward, also the audience, to hear a little bit about what you guys were up to.
Yeah, so thank you once more. So actually, it's like, talking about Vienna Insurance Group, talking about our approach towards innovation, and most likely what interests you most is how we deal with, let's say, partners, how we work with young or not so young startups. But to start, a few things about Vienna Insurance Group. So basically, we are quite an old group. So we exist since 200 years. But we always say we are old, we are a long time in the market, but we are not old-fashioned. And not being old-fashioned is also one of the reasons why we decided to start working with Plug and Play, being one of the founding partners here, anchor partners in Vienna. Because what drives us a lot is, you saw it in the slide before, protecting what matters. And actually, I'm quite proud to say that in 2020, we managed to deal with 22 million customers in more than 30 countries. We are the #1 in Austria and in the CEE region. And basically this is also what separates us from many of our competitors, because we have a clear focus on Austria and CEE. We have been, at least for Austria, the first company who expanded their footprint to what was called eastern part of Europe. And already in 1919, we started our business in what was called Czechoslovakia at that time. Now it's Czech and Slovakia. Currently, we have around 50 companies, and yeah, what makes us quite happy, our rating from guys like Standard & Poor's is quite a stable one and positive one. Here on this slide, you can see our positions in Austria and Central Eastern Europe. As you can see, we have a couple of countries where we are market leader. In those countries where we are not yet market leader, we are heavily working on it. One of the reasons why I would say we are rather successful in these markets is that we are not a typical group operating company, because we have a strong focus on giving as much freedom as possible to our operating companies in the countries, because our belief is that people in the headquarters not necessarily experts in topics which are related to specific markets and countries. Our success story, so to say, is also based on the proven business model. I mentioned it before. So we heavily focus on our multi-brand approach. We heavily focus on our local entrepreneurship. So that's what I mentioned before. Next to the organic growth, we are also quite strong in mergers and acquisitions. So we have more than 30 years experience in M&As across Central and Eastern Europe. And our sustainability strategy, we heard it before, sustainability is a very important topic, also for us. Supports our approach in all markets. Of course, as a group, we are strategy driven. So 2011, we launched our first strategy program, which covered, let's say, 5 years. In 2016, we started Agenda 2020, which we finished last year. And this year, we start with VRG 25, which is, let's say, a very progressive strategy program, because more than in the past, we will focus for the future, and this might be interesting for you, we will focus on digitization, we will focus on ecosystems, and most likely most of you know that insurance companies are not most known for their innovation power. This is something also where I think this separates us from many competitors. And we just founded, we got a new position, our board, which is now held by the Chief Innovation Officer and driving strategy. So the VRG 25 program, our strategy program, is mainly driven by trends and developments we discovered over the last years. Some of them also together with Plug and Play. So on this part here, on this place here, for those who are not working intensively with those guys, do it, because they are great support. A reason why we heavily focus, or we strongly focus on our existing footprint. So it's like very often you hear, you have to grow beyond your existing, or you have to move beyond your existing footprint to grow. We don't think it's necessary, because looking at what we call insurance density, so the annual spendings of people per year for insurance, across the EU 15, it's roughly 3,000 euros per year. For the CEE VRG footprint, it's not even 10% of that. So we are talking about roughly 250 euros. And what we could see in all those markets over the years, it's developing. So people are spending, also people achieve higher incomes, people spend more money to protect what they have been achieving. And in combination, the combination of this leads to higher insurance spendings. Yeah, that's like roughly, yeah, and what we are looking for is always young startups who think outside of the box, who are like very open-minded in new approaches. I mentioned before that we are old but not old-fashioned. But still, I've seen over the last years very, very often that suddenly there is a startup coming with an idea where a lot of people think, oh my God, why wasn't this my idea? It's so obvious. And it's obvious once somebody is telling you this idea, you think, should have been my idea. But you know, working in this industry, and whatever it is, you have a certain mindset. You have a certain picture of whatever you see and whatever you want to achieve. And sometimes somebody who has nothing to do with insurance comes up with a perfect insurance idea. So just to show you, or give you an example how open Vienna Insurance Group is, actually they hired me 3 years ago with having zero insurance know-how. So I was working 20 years in telecommunications before, dealing with marketing, sales and digitization topic. And still, Vienna Insurance Group said, okay, we need somebody from outside driving our digitization topic, which was a good opportunity for me. It was a cultural clash in the beginning, but it's still interesting. The cultural clash got smaller and smaller. And this is also a reason why we love startups. Because it's not only bringing new ideas, business ideas, but it's also bringing a change in culture. Yeah, that's from my side.
Wolfgang, thank you so much. And I can only echo what you just said. I think it's always good that, or sometimes good that you bring an outside perspective into your daily routines, basically, to really accelerate what you're doing. And you've seen it just here on the slides. There is a very, very interesting strategy ahead of VAG. And we've been quite honored to work with you and your team. And we've seen all the work that the team at VAG and Wiener Städtische is doing. So all the startups, as you said, don't be afraid of working with a big insurance group. It is actually something that where you can develop further. It helps you, it helps everyone, and it's a cool thing. So, Wolfgang, thank you very much for joining me on stage, and thank you very much for showing us what's in store for VAG in the upcoming, 4 years, right?
Yeah.
4 years. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much, and I hope that platforms like Plug and Play also bring these different parties together and make them work together. It's pretty cool. VAG is in for the long game, everyone. So. Please make sure to reach out to us, also to the team at VAG, and work together on some really interesting innovation pilot projects. Welcome, thank you very much, and and we are looking forward to spending the day with you a little bit longer then. Thank you very much. Everyone, it's been a really incredibly cool, fun ride. Smart Cities, Katinka, you're joining me again on stage.
It's over, it's been so quick, but that's only the first half of the day. We invite you now to have a break for 30 minutes, take a rest. It is a lot of content, we are aware of that. So take a rest, but don't miss out for the second half, travel and hospitality, with the major players in the travel industry like Star Alliance, Fraport. They're all already waiting upstairs to speak here on stage, and we are super happy if you would join us for the second part.
It's going to be really cool. So get ready for takeoff. We are going to start in a couple of minutes. So see you soon.
See you soon.
From Vienna. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.